better or higher or more. Like my first husband, I thought he was just so good looking, and the ladies liked him, and oh my God, I can't let him go because somebody else is gonna take him because he's better. No, no, but I was surprised too, and so, but because I didn't think that I didn't act like I was, and the question that you asked earlier, so he knew that I didn't think I was surprised either. So he treated me like I wasn't either. You know.
Whoa. Okay. So you and tell me if I'm wrong. You actually are saying that sometimes we get treated the way that we allow ourselves to get treated, basically.
Because we think that we're less than that person, and depending on who you with, and you're feeding, like I fed his ego a lot. So
But
he
don't
felt
most
like,
women? Don't most
huh?
people? Don't most of us?
But it has to be within healthy confines. And when you're talking about relationship, if he's compliment, I wouldn't say, see, it's a difference in feeding ego and complimenting.
Mhm.
That's two different, or that's too many things. That's two different things. Yeah, okay. So I tell you, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. You fine, but you're telling me the same thing too, and you showing me that through your actions.
Right.
But if it's only one sided, you're the one getting all the praise and the love and all that, and I'm just sitting there saying, "Oh, I just hope he don't leave me. I hope that you." That's not healthy. You
Not
know,
at all.
that's not healthy. So you got
No.
to make sure that there's, as we call it, equally yoked,
Right.
as far as your aspirations in a relationship. How can two walk together unless they be agreed?
Yeah.
You got to be on the same page, the same platform, and that doesn't mean that because opposites attract. Sometimes that don't mean that you are the same. You can have different personalities, all that, but
Mhm.
just make sure that you are being complimented as well as giving compliments. There has to be, as you call it, a
A
balance.
fine balance. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good advice and good teaching from Vicki L. Evans. And we're talking from the book of Know Your Worth and How Overcoming the Dragon of Low Self-Esteem. And so we have already been talking for a few weeks about this topic, and she's taken us on an interesting journey. So we're now talking about optimism versus pessimism. So carry on. Let's talk some more.
Yeah, let's talk about this. And let's start off this time, because we do a little discussion and then we go to the book. But I have a little saying here, says positive thoughts, positive life. And I love that. But we're going to go straight to the book, because there are some points in here that I want to give right away, and then we can have that discussion. Okay. And
Okay.
so if you have the book, it's this chapter starts on page 58. And so I want to set the tone by reading those first two chapters, because it gives a very definite separation between what optimism is and pessimism. And so let's just start reading, okay?
Okay.
So, have you heard the story of the two shoe salesmen who were dropped off via helicopter on a tropical island to sell shoes to the natives? After encountering the natives, the salesman found out that they walked around barefoot and did not have any shoes.
Hmm.
The pessimistic salesman called the shoe headquarters and told the dispatcher to send the helicopter back to him
Hmm.
because there was no need for shoes on the island.
Hmm.
The natives are comfortable barefoot. Okay, that's the pessimist. He was like, hey, they don't need me.
Right.
I
So
don't
I'm
need to
good.
sell them no shoes
Right.
because they comfortable just walking around with no shoes.
The way
Okay,
they
on
are.
on the other hand, the optimistic salesman called back and told the dispatcher to fill the helicopter with shoes
Mm.
because the island was a shoe salesman's paradise. Everybody here needs shoes. In
Mm.
reality, this is how our life experiences are. It is all in how you see it. So two salesmen, same island, saw two different perspectives. Okay. So optimism versus pessimism. And that's how it is with us many times in life. It's all in how we see it. I want to read these other two paragraphs too, so we can establish the difference. And I wrote this book, and the reason that I'm reading this so that it would be so simple, because I want teenagers to pick up this book and be able to see themselves in here and to understand. So that's why this is such an easy read, because it's not it's not just written from the perspective of an adult, even though I was an adult and I wrote it. It's also written so that teenagers, young girls will know their worth, because we have to start early. It's very difficult trying to get an adult to know their worth after they have been dumped on in so many ways. After so many pessimists have come into their lives and made them feel like they were less than. It's so difficult to reverse that process. But if we start early with our young girls, with our children, affirming them and telling them that they are special and that they are important and that they don't have to settle for less behavior, it is so much easier. So that's why this book is written as an easy read, so that they can pick it up and read it as well and not be confused, and it be so simple that they can't miss it. That even a 10th grader can read it and say, I understand what she's saying. Okay.
I love it.
So that's why we have these examples like these two that are very simple. Okay.
Someone said absolutely fire, 100%. What you're saying, keeping it 100, that's good, Vicki. We have to start early and not get settled in on.
Right. Because our children, let me tell you, they're so valuable. And the course that you start them on can be the very course that would take them in the positive direction that they need to go. But if you start them on the other road of pessimism, they can also fall into the trap and in the hands of just all kinds of things. Predators, people who will make them feel like they're less than. Oftentimes I think about young ladies who are out there on the street or or whatever, and how these men come along and just grab them up because they don't know their worth, and so they sell them a bill of goods telling them, hey, look, I can make it better for you, I can do this. And then when they find themselves in a trap, and they thought that these men were good for them and were going to do all these nice things that were promised to them, and then they find themselves in a trap or in sex trafficking or something like that, because they've been sold a bill of goods because they didn't know their worth. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want our girls to succeed. And I want them to know the difference. If someone is treating you in a toxic way, or if they degrading you or saying words to you that are not building your self-esteem, those are not the people you need in your life. Whether it's a man, whether it's another girl,
it doesn't matter.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You do not allow other folks to dump trash on you.
To minimize who you are. To even just minimize who you are as a person. You're so much better than that. And I don't think that people are better than people, but I do think that we are better off if we can avoid being put in certain situations and circumstances and letting people run over you.
You're not a trash can. You're not a dumpster. No. That's not your words. Negative words should not be dumped on you, because you're not that. You're not trash. And so therefore, I want you to know, even if it's a young girl, what it means to be optimistic. And I need the adults who are in that equation to understand how your negative words can cause so much harm and bring them down, and your positive words can build them up and take them in a whole different direction. So that's why it's important, this chapter, that you know the difference between optimism and pessimism, because it is all how you see it. People say it's not that simple. Yes, it is.
Yes, it
It
is. In
is
my
as
opinion, it is. Yeah.
yeah, it's all how you see it. As a man thinketh, that is like the most truest scripture in the Bible.
That's right.
So is he.
That's right. That's the
It's it.
foundation. If you think it, and then that's what your whole life is going to be predicated on, is on that thought. So you have to gain control of your thoughts in order to even be able to walk in betterness, in a better
Uh,
outcome. Betterness is not a word I know, y'all. Don't
I,
don't
but
don't
I
take.
have words like that too
I
that
just
I
make up some
use.
words sometimes.
I do. I have words, but I always give the example, and I think I've given that example every time we've been on here about myself
Mhm.
feeling and thinking that I was ugly. I thought I was so ugly,
Mm.
so I acted as if I was ugly. I
Yeah.
walked around, I displayed those characteristics of being ugly, even though I wasn't. I walked around with my head down all the time. You
Mm.
know, I hardly ever smiled because, I was really, really, really shy because I felt like I was less than I really was. And now when I go back and look at some of the pictures, I say, girl, please, because now I know the difference. I
Right.
feel beautiful, and I don't allow anyone to tell me that I'm not. I don't care who you are. You're not going to tell me that I'm ugly. That word is no longer in my vocabulary.
Right.
So you have to be the same way, because those ugly words can tear you down, but beautiful words can build you up.
But
So
how did you end up determining that you were beautiful? What specifically happened that made you determine that?
this right here, this book, I'm telling you, because as I start writing about all the things,
That God,
especially being delivered from all the things that held me down in the past, because
yeah.
I'm telling you, it was a weight on me. Even
Mhm.
the things, the experiences that I had as a child, they were weights that I was still carrying around till I
Mm.
was 46 years old. And
Yeah.
so I had to sit down. And when I started writing this book,
Mm.
I saw a very different perspective of who I am. So,
Mm.
no, no more. And let me tell you this, Kim, the last 3 years
Mhm.
has even been even greater for me, because I was like, girl, please, you got it
Mhm.
going on. And I know some people might think that that's conceit, but when you've lived in the valley most
Yes.
of your life, to come to the realization that you really are smart and beautiful, and God made you fearfully and wonderfully,
Wonderfully made. Yeah.
then you start affirming yourself. In fact, you don't wait for other folks to affirm you. I don't wait for other people to validate me anymore, because I actually feel beautiful. And my relationship, I just have to say it, with the Holy Spirit, He makes me feel beautiful. He
Yeah.
does. He makes me feel so beautiful, because when you have a relationship where you can go pray and you see results from
Yeah.
those prayers, like, hey, this thing really works. So
Yeah.
my spiritual foundation has given me the tools to understand that I am beautiful.
Mm. And the answer that I was looking for, that I already know the answer anyway, is that God actually revealed it to you.
Yes,
That's who
absolutely.
that's who revealed your he put the stamp of approval, and he endorsed you and your worth. And he just kind of gave you all of it in this manual here. So that's what I
Absolutely.
knew was the case anyway.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, this is a true story. And I know everyone have their own relationships,
Right.
and maybe even their God. But I just kind of tell you from my perspective what my
Please.
relationship looks like. One time I grew up in church, and I always, like, because I didn't know my worth, I was always trying to emulate other people,
Okay.
trying to be like somebody else. Oh, Sister Louise, and there's actually a Sister Louise, but oh, Sister Louise can preach so well. I want to be able to speak like her. It was always that. And so one day I was sitting in my room quietly, and the Holy Spirit, I'm telling you, this really happened. He asked me a question. He said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Vicky." He said, "How long have you been Vicky?" I know this sounds like a crazy conversation. I said, "All my life," right? And he said, "So I need you to stop trying to be other people. I made Vicky, and I saw a need for Vicky, so I need you to be Vicky." And so that conversation also fueled me to be me. I may not have everything that I desire. I may not even be, and I wrote that in this book, I may not even be your cup of tea, but I have to be me. And the me that I am, my flaws and all, I just happen to like this girl. And unless you can look at yourself and say, "I like what I see," if you don't like what you see, then you have the opportunity to change.
Yeah, change it. Yeah,
Yeah, that choice is always there.
that's
Change
right.
yourself, then change. I don't like who I am. I mean, we have the ability to do that. I don't like being big. You have the ability to lose
That's
weight.
right.
I mean,
That's
we
right.
actually have those opportunities. So if you don't like what you see or what you know about yourself or how you feel about yourself, you have the opportunity to change that.
That's right.
And that's the thing that fueled me. And I was like, "Oh my God, so you mean, God, you love me for who I am?" That's how that conversation went. He said, "Absolutely, that's why I made you, because I saw a need for Vicky." And
That's
so now I know my worth. I see my need all over the place. I said, "Oh,
I'm
wow,
needed
I'm
here.
needed
I'm gonna
here.
fill
I'm
this
needed
need.
here." Yes. And it's a joy to know that. I mean, and people now, Kim, before as well, I felt like I had to be alone in a little corner and sit down. People gravitate to me.
Oh
Just this
yes.
past women weekend in Atlanta, I say, "Lord, I don't know how I got here." This lady was hugging me up like this. She was just holding on to me. I thought, "How did I get here?" But it's because I know that there is a confidence that I walk in now, and it's magnetic. It
Yeah.
attracts other people. I smile more, all of that. That's
Yeah.
magnetic. People want to be a part of that. They are attracted to that.
Yeah. Everywhere I go, whether I've been there many times or if I've only been there once, the next time I come back, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, it's you!" And my family, they're like, "Do you know them?" I don't know everybody at that level, no, but I know everybody at that level. Yes. So it's like I don't meet a stranger. I love people and I love all of God's people, whether I like you personally or you like me personally, or not, it doesn't matter. You're still God's people. So I
Right.
love people. I love people.
And yeah, and the weird thing is, and this has happened to me a couple times, being in the airport because you are present on social media. I like social media. I have a lot of friends that I haven't met personally.
Right.
So I was at the airport one time and somebody say, "Hey Vicky." They were waving. Hey, I didn't know who that was.
Right. But it doesn't matter. You feel like you know them because some kind of way they cross paths with you in some
And they
capacity.
say, "Oh, I'm friends with you on social media." I was like, "Oh,
Well,
okay."
Vicky, you'll get a kick out of this. One time I was in the store, I forget where I was with my family. I was talking, and the lady came over, she was like, That's your voice." And I was like, "What voice?" She was like, "Girl, I listen to you every week on the radio." She was just going in because she had heard my voice, had never
Right,
even seen my face before, but she heard the voice. And the
right.
voice still resonated with her and connected with her. So you don't know how you're impacting people's lives by
Right.
being optimistic and having a positive
Optimistic.
outlook on life.
Absolutely. So it is important to be that way. Yes, we have our valleys and we have our sad times. We're people.
Right.
In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it tells you that there's a season for everything. You're going to
Mhm.
have good times, bad times, happy times, sad times, ups and downs. So
Mhm.
I don't want to give you a false perception that I'm just up all the time, because
No.
that's not true. That is not the truth. But even in those valley seasons, I know that there's an opportunity that is going to change, that the storm is not going to last
Yes.
always.
That
And,
gives me
and
hope right there.
yes, that gives you hope. So anyway, So anyway, I'll go back to the optimist. Um, so this is the difference, okay? The optimist would somehow find a ray of hope in the worst situations. Yes. No matter how bleak or dim the situations appear, they would light a candle and make it brighter. And I say that for people too. If in the midst of situation, I met a sister, her name was Phyllis. There was a group called Sisters of Strength. And Phyllis was just the light. You know, we'd be at the restaurant and the waiter could be messing up everything, but she always found something nice to say to the person. And she said, you know, you never know what these people are going through.
We don't know.
She's an optimist. She was always like that. And I tell you that, you know, like I said, we don't always get it right. And there are some days when I'm like, you know, I have those days. But I'm telling you, you can leave a lasting impression on people just by how you made them feel. Maya Angelou said that they may not always remember what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. Always. So I just wanted to say that.
You're dropping so many words of wisdom and gems, and all of this, everybody, can be found right in this book, Know Your Worth. If you don't have a copy of this book, you want to get it for a teenager, get it for yourself, and go to VickiLEvans.com. She will actually autograph a copy and send it to you. So please, if you're in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, she'll even meet you and give you your copy, your signed copy. So I see you tagging a lot of people. Athena, one of our Mother Dreamer members, is inviting people into tonight's discussion. So thank you so much. And
thank
any of
you so much, Athena. Hi, Sunshine. We share the same name. That's our Sunshine expert.
Yes. We love Athena. I love her. So
I hope this is helping someone tonight. You know, one of the reasons I'm so encouraged about what we're doing right now, Kim, because you really don't know how many people who, hi, Crystal.
Crystal's on. Hey.
You never know how many people's lives you're affecting. So I'm just going to share this, and I'm not going to even tell his name, but I got email on Messenger on someone, he's actually a family member, who wrote me and told me that he purchased my book and he wanted me to know just how much this book was helping him with his life. And so it just brought almost tears to my eyes, because we're on this platform and we can't see everyone who's joining or who may be listening. But this discussion, just to know that one person, you know, his life was touched. He said, your book is helping me so much. And so that's why I am joyous. I want you to know this book I wrote over, I don't know, what is it, 30 years old?
And it's so relevant for right now with everything that's happening across the land. This book, you would think it just got published during the pandemic, or doing some of the school shootings and some of the bullying situations. You would think this book just got written. And this right here is a prophetic words that God put in your spirit for such a time as this.
Yes. And I was thinking I'm going to get some books and maybe just leave it around somewhere and let someone pick it up, because I'm serious, because I believe that's how much I believe in this book. It freed me. I was bogged down with so much, just all kinds of crazy thinking. I'm gonna call it crazy thinking, because about relationship, how men were supposed to treat me, and I realized at the end of this book how I was supposed to treat myself.
That's booyah. That's a target right there. Boom.
Yeah, because I had all these ideas how men should treat me. Well, they need to do this for me, and they need to take care of me, and they supposed to do this for me. But how am I supposed to treat me? I wasn't treating myself in that way. And so at the end of writing this book, Know Your Worth, I realized that it was important for me to treat myself great too. It was important for me to be whole, because if you go into a relationship broken, what are you going to do? You're going to get broken results.
Have a broken relationship, because now you're not coming in as a whole person.
Yeah. And so that's why I think it's so important that we understand. And the other key word I want to say here, it's not up to somebody else to make you happy. That's
No.
not their job.
I just said that to my family tonight. We were having a family discussion, and I said the same thing. I said, happiness is your own choice. It does not matter at all what I do to try to make you happy or not make you sad. You have to choose it for yourself every
Right.
day.
Yeah. And so that was my wrong thinking. Tonight we're talking about the way you think. You know, as a man thinks, so is he. That was my wrong thinking, that I
Mm.
needed a man to take care of me, to make me feel validated, to affirm me, to make me feel good about myself. It was up to him to make me happy. No, no. It wasn't. I had to be happy. I had to make choices and decisions that allowed me to be happy as well. I
Yeah.
had to do it. It was my responsibility. And I kept putting that responsibility on other people, and I kept getting hurt.
Yes. Yes.
I
Oh,
kept
Cynthia Lennox is
getting
on.
hurt.
She said, "Hey, love this chat." And Athena
Yeah,
said, "Yes, happiness is our own choice. Yes,
right.
it is. And you are your own project," Crystal said. So this
Yeah.
is a healthy discussion that we're having tonight. Know your worth, talking right now about optimism versus pessimism and what it looks like and what the difference is. Vicki
And
L. Evans is the author for those that are just joining, and make sure you get a copy of her book. And if you get the book tonight, she'll know it came from this discussion. So go ahead and grab your copy tonight so she can see that these book club discussions are making a difference. And if you're not a part of the Mother Dreamer movement, that's where we normally have our book club discussions. Then go ahead and join motherdreamer.com/join. All right, Vicki, tell us some more because this is some good
so
stuff.
there's a chapter at the end of 59. We talk about how do you know the difference between optimism and pessimism. And I used the 12 spies in the Bible who went in to check out the land. So I'm gonna read this real quick because I was reading this today. It made me go back and read my old stuff and say, yeah, that was kind of good. So I want to just give you a short illustration, and then let's bring it to today. You know,
Okay.
how it
Okay.
affects you, because that's the most important thing. I want this to be life applications. How does these examples affect me? Because we have a lot of people right now who are hurting. We have
Right.
a lot of people right now. We got kids who are committing suicide because they don't know their worth. They just know other kids are bullying them and picking on them, and they feel like they are less than they are worth.
Right.
They don't have anyone to affirm. No, you're not who Johnny says you are. You're not who Susan says you are. You're not.
Mm.
You're so much more than that. And
Yes.
so we have to get busy, folks, to affirm these kids so that they will not fall for the okie doke, because that's
That's right.
exactly what it is.
Yes, it
You
is.
know, 10-year-olds should not be committing suicide.
No.
12-year-olds should not be committing suicide because somebody done told them that they are ugly, or they are this, or you are fat, or you are this. That should not be happening.
That's
So
right.
parents, teachers, friends, next door neighbors, let's affirm these kids and let them know that they are loved, and allow them to know their worth. They need to know
Know
that,
the worth.
because once you know that, you could tell me, like I said, I'm gonna use the ugly example. You could tell me all day long, anytime, 50 times a day today, that I'm ugly. I'm just gonna laugh in your face because I know that I'm not.
With your big, beautiful smile. You're gonna be like, okay, that's your opinion. Carry on.
Laugh at you and say, okay, whatever.
I want to interject real quick right there, if you don't mind, for
Go
one
ahead,
second,
sis.
because there are parents that sometimes wait for the children to come to you to officially have a discussion about something that they may be dealing with. I want to recommend, as the balance doctor, that you don't wait for that. Do not wait for your child to come to talk to you. Sit the child down and have a conversation and say, this is what I'm observing. And please tell me if I'm wrong. But I want to make sure that I have an open discussion with you pertaining to what I think I'm observing as well, because they may never come to you and say these things. But I know I've had some discussion with my own children, and they're older children at this point, but it still is a hearty discussion to the point where I can see the burden lifted off of them after the conversation.
Right. And we
And you
live in
never
a
know
generation.
how valuable that conversation is, or if it's a pivotal moment in time
Yeah,
that was a time that they could have been prepared to make some more decisions in their lives.
absolutely. And that is so true. I lived in a society where children were supposed to be silent, and we didn't really have that kind of communication with our parents.
Right.
So if you have that type of relationship with your children, please have the conversation. How was your day? Did anything happen today that you would like to talk about? Open the door for them to talk.
Yeah.
So
I
just
love
wanted to
that.
say. And so, anyway, let's go to this illustration. A perfect illustration of the difference between optimism and pessimism is found in the Bible, Numbers chapter 13. This is not a religious discussion, but this is a great example. It says, Canaan was described as a fruitful place with enormous grapes hanging off the vine, a land flowing with milk and honey. When the time arrived for the spies to make their report before Moses and the children of Israel, the spies bought samples of the fruit. So one thing we know, these spies went into Canaan. And so they all agreed on the same thing. There was a land flowing with milk and honey. There were big grapes and fruit in, so everybody agreed. Right, everybody agreed to that. So they were on the same sheet of music when it comes to that, but the way they saw it was differently. Okay. Right. Unanimously, the 12 spies agreed that the land was flowing. Okay. However, 10 of the spies, the pessimists, right, focused on the inhabitants of the land. They focused on the problem instead of the abundance of fruit. Okay. The pessimists focused on the son of Enoch, who were giants, and feared them because they were carnivorous, people eating. Furthermore, the pessimists viewed themselves as grasshoppers. So I'm going to stop there because there was 12 spies. So 10 of them saw it the same way. They were like, oh, no, we can't go in there because there's giants. Right. Those 10 focused on the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Even though there was blessings in that land, fruit and all beautiful things, but they focused on the problem. There's giants. Oh, we can't overcome those people. Whoa, 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 whoa. But two of them. So sometimes you are vastly outnumbered by pessimists. I want to say that sometimes, but two people can make a difference. One person can make a difference. Positive thinkings, positive thoughts. Yeah. Two people looked at it a different way. They say we are well able to overtake those giants. We can beat them, right? You got to have that much confidence. We can beat those giants. Yeah. We can do it. And so just two people said that and said, you know, we can
get this.
Yes. So the pessimists, they looked at the problem. The optimists, they looked at the solution. We can overcome this, right? Mm-hmm. And so then that's the difference. Focus on the solutions, you guys. We have been given some big promises. There are so many promises, even in our word. There are so many promises. But if you focus on, well, yeah, there's word. Yeah, they said that, but right now I'm going through it, and right now I'm broke. My son said that the other day. I said, never say that. Say I'm just right now. I'm on a pause. I'm trying to figure out which direction I need to go to acquire wealth. Mm-hmm. Because right now I'm just having a moment. Never say I'm poor, I'm broke, because then you negate the promises. Because there are some promises that says the blessings of God, what does it? Making you rich and added no sorrow. So you got to affirm and stand on the promises. Look at the solution and not focus so much on. Now, let me say this: the problem is real. We're not going to sit here and negate that there are some challenges
Right.
that we face in our life. They are real. They are big,
Yes.
and we cannot, neglect that.
That's right.
Yes, I need money to pay my bills. I cannot, ignore that. That's very
right.
real situation. I think so many times, and I want to say this, sometimes we do get super spiritual and we try to pray those situations away. No.
Yeah.
You got to pay.
You still have to pay the bill. The bill has to be paid.
I'm gonna rhyme right here. You can pray, but you still gotta pay.
Yes. Dr. Lotus said we must speak a word over our circumstances, and she's from the Lotus Riche Ignite show. She also said we are all in abundance in every moment, that we must speak and believe it into an existence. And Dr. Nepatina Serrano, and she has a show as well called The Serrano Show. Her and her husband deal with marriage. If you are trying to have covenant marriages, make sure you connect with their show. She said, awesome. Yes, we must be the solution to the challenges, is what Dr. Lotus Riche said. And she's in Washington, D.C.
Yes. And those who are in business, that's exactly what business is. We are the solution to the problems. And there are if there was no problems, we would not be needed.
That's right.
Problems are real. Problems exist, but you can be the solution to that. And we are all made with purpose. There's a purpose for you. There's a purpose and there's a problem for you to solve.
And one of the problems that Vicki L. Evans is solving is through the book, Know Your Worth, Overcoming the Dragon of Low Self-Esteem. You can get an autographed copy at VickiLEvans.com. Make sure you get a copy of this book tonight. And this is our book club discussion that we're having as our Mother Dreamer group. So if you're not a part of the Mother Dreamer movement yet, which is a group of moms that have goals and dreams that we're looking to have them become a reality. There are other mothers that also birth visions and goals and dreams, and they serve as mother figures that are a part of this movement as well. Go to motherdreamer.com/join. All right, this is good. So you talked about the 10, then there were 2 that believed. So tell us that.
Okay, so the 2 were the optimists. They saw the solution. They took steps to, we need steps sometimes to, how do I go through this process? Sometimes people like to go around the process or, I don't want to do the work. But sometimes you just got to do the work. Stay positive, go through the process. And at the end of the process is the solution. So I wanted to say that. Okay, I lost my page. So let me.
Well, I know on page 63, it talks about optimism focusing on the goal. The optimist focused on the goal, not the obstacle.
Right. So I want to give you some points, and I'm going to break it down in my own way, but it's in the book. So this is the difference. The optimist focuses on the solution because that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
And the pessimist focus on the problem. Okay. Because if you focus on the problem, that means that you're stuck there.
That's right.
And you can't move. But when you say, okay, by faith, I'm going to see myself on the other side of this, which is an important ingredient that you have. Number 2, I'm going to give you 7 of these.
And y'all make sure you take notes on this out there since we're in our book club discussion.
I'm going to say it again. Number 1, optimists focus on the solution, and a pessimist focus on the problem. That's the difference. Okay.
That's good.
Number 2, the optimist walks in faith. Faith is so important in our life. It really is. It affirms that you believe that you can do all things with your spiritual connection because you know who you belong to. So therefore you don't lose hope in the midst of in the midst of situations that seem over your head. You don't lose hope. Now, as I said earlier, there are days when we feel like, okay, this is not, you have to take a deep breath and say, Lord, I don't know. This is a real big challenge. But you have to affirm, but yet I can do all things. And I am determined by confidence and faith to go through the process.
That's good.
On the other hand, the pessimist walks in fear. I can't do it. I want to take that word and throw it out of the dictionary. I can't do it. This is too hard for me. This is overtaking me.
Yeah.
I don't see my way out. I don't know how I'm going to make it. Oh, Lord, what is this? Lord, you have forsaken me. Why have you left me, Lord? Oh, that's the pessimist. But the optimists say, God, even in the midst of this, I'm still going to trust you. Lord, I may not see the end results or the manifestation of how this is going to turn out, but I'm not going to give up. And I promise you, I'm going to hold on. And so then the other thing that you have to do, you have to connect yourself with other optimists so that when you feel like you're feeling low, that you can get encouragement and you can get a word. Our words are so important. The words that others speak to you, they can tell you that, hold on, sis, things are going to be better. Our testimony is so important because someone else God may have put in your path who have gone through a similar situation that can tell you, oh, you can make it.
You're gonna make it. I see you, Lady Cassandra. Welcome, welcome. And she says she loves this.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes.
We love you.
Join yourself with people who are going to build you up, not bring you down. Join yourself with people who are going to add to your life. That's going to add value to your life. That's going to encourage you when you feel like giving up. That's what optimists do. Absolutely.
Wow. This is some good stuff that we're learning tonight, and learning about optimism versus pessimism. And we're talking from the book, Know Your Worth. You can get a copy at VickiLEvans.com. And I'll put the image up so you'll know if you do go anywhere else to find it. But if just go right there and you'll get an autographed copy from VickiLEvans.com.
And it is on Amazon. And I never mentioned this. It is a bestseller. It ranked number 5, number 1, what else? Number 7 on the Amazon.com bestseller list. So I'm very proud of this book. And I think it is a great self-help tool for you when you're going through challenges, when you're facing obstacles, when you're feeling down and out or low. You can pick up this book and say, wow, this is some good stuff that will help you get out of that valley, get out of that
funk that you might be in.
Yes.
You might be stuck in. And yes, the battle is in the mind, Lady Cassandra. That's her comment as well.
Yes. And we started off, Sister Cassandra, by saying, as a man or woman thinketh, so is she or he. And it is that simple. People are like, it's not that simple. Oh, yes, it is. Because sometimes you speak yourself into a situation because you don't see any hope. So you don't walk it or seek the answers for that situation because you're already feeling doomed and defeated.
That's right. That's right. So you're bringing on more pressure, like you talked about earlier, overthinking and overanalyzing, and you bringing so much more onto ourselves than we have to. But trusting God and knowing that we're going to have a good outcome if we just continue to walk in the knowledge of the truth. So go ahead, finish with. Let's make a couple of
number 3, and this relates to the story that we just read. Optimists focus on the blessings. Optimists focus on the fruit, that which are the blessings, but the pessimists focus on the loot. Oh, there's giants in the land. Oh, there's obstacle. I couldn't possibly overcome that. Oh, no. Oh, woe is me. So the difference is one focuses on the blessings. I can do all things. I am blessed. I woke up this morning and it is a joyous day. I don't care if it's storming outside. I still am happy to be alive. If you've ever been in a situation where you felt like you wanted to give up or you didn't want to, you will celebrate being alive. It is such a joyous thing. So I just wanted to say that focus on your blessings, and every day you can find a reason why you are blessed.
That's right. Every day.
Because some days, I bet if you look at some people, they wish they could be where you are. Just remember there are some people who are going through such trauma, they wish they could walk in your shoes. So think about the blessings that God has given you on a daily basis, because you could, like that song used to say, it could be the other way.
Yeah, it could. And
Number 4.
just because you're going through trauma too, I always want to emphasize, just because you may be experiencing trauma does not mean that you don't know your worth or that you don't have value for yourself. It may just be a difficult season that you're experiencing in your life at this time. And I know I personally can speak from personal experiences about that. So no matter what season I'm in, I still have the joy of the Lord as my strength. That's what gives me strength. But it does not mean that I'm not sad sometimes or disappointed
Yeah.
or angry, because those emotions are also real emotions that I too experience. But I still love myself and I love who God created in me.
Because even if we take the example of our seasons, it's not sunny every day.
No.
You're going to have rain, you're going to have snow, depending on what region you live in.
That's right.
You're going to have some cloudy days. And so therefore in life, you're going to have some of those too. And don't beat yourself up because you're like, okay, so let me tell you, even if you fail, you still are blessed,
That's right.
Because there's a difference in failing and being a failure. Never look at yourself as a failure.
That's
You're
right.
going to have moments that you don't make 100 and you may not get it right, but you are not a failure.
That's right. That's
So,
right. All right. Well, tell us some final things here because we're going to get ready to come to a close soon. But this has been a good discussion already on optimism versus pessimism. Come on.
I'm going to skip down to the last one. It says, look at the battles already won. That's what a optimist does. They look back on the things that they've already overcome and the things that they have already won. That's what an optimist. But then the pessimists look at the obstacles that may never come. We invent stuff. Yeah, it may never come. Oh, tomorrow I know I'm gonna be sick tomorrow, or because I don't have any money, then I can't go nowhere. They always look at the obstacles that may never come, and I have been so guilty of that, worrying about, oh Lord, this is gonna happen to me. And we worry about things that may never happen to you, may never come. We invent them in our minds and we get to thinking stuff that may not ever have. Oh, I'm gonna get put out. It may never happen to you in the manner that you envision.
Right.
So that's what pessimists do. They stay in that mindset that, oh, only the worst is gonna happen. And that may never happen for you. Okay,
I'm glad
never
you said that.
happen. So just be encouraged. And I know we've been on here for a minute, so I want to wrap it up. Be encouraged. Affirm yourself every day. Every morning I get up and I have a devotion, and you'll be surprised where I find some of my greatest things is on Pinterest.
Oh yeah,
I go
love
on there, and Pinterest have some words for me to encourage me. I even have, on Pinterest, you can have the different topics.
Boards and stuff, right?
Yeah, I even have a page called affirmations, and I take them and I put my affirmations in there, and so that I'm storing up good things, good thoughts, good behavior for my future. You got to do that. So
that gave me a spiritual chill when you said that, because I do that a lot too, and I just store a lot of the information. And sometimes it never makes it to social media, but it inspires me personally and gives me just a little bit more gas to keep going just a little bit further. And it inspires me a lot. All of the different words that God put down on the inside of other people. That's why we can never minimize our gifts, because you don't know who is being blessed by what God gave you to do. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to encourage you that, you have a choice. Even the things that we've talked about tonight, you may say, well, I don't have no choice. If I'm sad, I'm just sad. Okay. Like we said, it's okay to be sad, but don't live in a mindset of pessimism. That
That's
means that, you're constantly being a pessimist. You never see the bright side. You never see a way out. You always walk in. So don't take on that mindset
right.
of
Good.
pessimism. Always believe that there is a better day. Every day I wake up, I strive to be a better version of
Me
myself.
too. Yes, me too, Vicky.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's why I connected with you so well. I'm like, I
Yes.
absolutely love some Vicky L. Evans.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm trying to accomplish something here. I just, especially for our women. And last week we had a gentleman on there. The last time it was on, he said this is helping the men too. And
Yes,
I'm glad that the men are being helped, because men have challenges too, just like women have challenges as well.
yes.
But just know, it is about your thought process. If you stay in the valley, then you're going to have valley results, because you will never see yourself out of the valley. It's dark in the valley.
It's
You don't
very
want to
dark.
stay in darkness. You want to rise up out of your dark places, and there is hope to do that. So, and I want to help you do that as well.
Well, Vicky L. Evans is helping you do that through the book, Know Your Worth, and through her own life. She's just a living, walking testimony. But Know Your Worth, Overcoming the Dragon of Low Self-Esteem. You can get a copy of that book at VickyLEvans.com. She'll autograph it for you. Go grab your copy tonight. And I wanted to, this one scripture I wanted to read, because I spoke of a message about a week or two ago. And part of what you were saying tonight kind of reminded me to just say this. In Amos 9, verses 13 through 15, it says, yes, indeed, it won't be long. That's God's decree. When you were talking about God's promises and things earlier, God's
Yes.
decree. Yes, indeed, it won't be long now. So just keep that in your mind, that things are going to happen so fast. This is scripture, y'all. Things are going to happen so fast that your head will swim, one thing fast on the heels of the other. You won't be able to keep up. Everything will be happening all at once, and everywhere you look, blessings like wine pouring off the mountains. Can y'all envision that? Like wine pouring off the mountains and off the hills. He's going to make everything right again for my people, Israel. They'll rebuild their ruined cities. They'll plant vineyards and drink good wine. They'll work their gardens and eat fresh vegetables. And I'll plant them on their own land.
Wow.
They'll never again be uprooted from the land that I have given them. God, your God, says so.
Awesome. 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 Yes.
That inspired me when I read that scripture and taught on that message. It gives me hope to know that it won't be long now. It's right around the corner, but are we ready for it? Are we ready in our minds for what God has planned for our lives?
Get ready. It's time to get ready. Don't be ready. Be ready. Work on yourself. Work on yourself, so that when opportunities come, you are ready to receive them. Work. I'm going to give this very last example.
Okay, you the closing point. So bring it home, Vicky.
I'm excited about this. So this weekend I went to Atlanta, and I actually went to an event because I treated myself, part of my birthday celebration. And so I bought this ticket to this event, and I bought it 2 months ago because I say, oh, this ticket is so cheap. But when I got to the event and saw where my seat was, it was way up there, so far up in the nosebleeds. And I went up there, and I am afraid of heights. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh Lord!
So when I got up there, I did go up there, and I was sweating profusely. I said, but I made a decision. I said, I can't stay here. If I have to pay my way from up here, I'm gonna pay my way, whatever it takes. I cannot stay here, because I was torturing myself. I'm using this as an example. I was torturing. I was so fearful. I was holding on to the side. I'm telling. And at one point, I was screaming for the usher, "Can you come get me, please, please, sir?" He didn't hear me, right? So I had to make my way down. And this is comical, but it's true. So I went to the box office and I said, hey, can I upgrade my seat because I cannot sit up there? You have to make a decision that I can't stay there. And the lady said, no, we don't have any more tickets. And so she said, where are you sitting, right? And I told her, I said, well, but it doesn't matter. Make up your mind, be confident. I said, but it doesn't matter where I was sitting because I'm not going to sit there. I am not going to sit there. If I have to watch this through the hallway, I'm not going to sit there. And sometimes God is waiting for your confidence to be just like that. So in about 2 minutes, the lady went in the back, came back, and she said, she handed me a ticket. She said, here. And I said, okay, so how much do I have to pay for the upgrade? She said, enjoy the show. I was so close to the stage. I was like, oh my God. I had to walk down to get to my seat, not walk up. So I'm just saying that to you. Know your worth. You don't always have to settle for the nosebleeds. You don't. I'm not saying that, some people might, that's all they can afford. But you don't always have to sell it. This is just an encouragement. There are sometimes you're going to face some things in life and you think that you're stuck and you have no other choices. Baby, sometimes you just need to make a decision that I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to stay broken. I'm not going to stay in a relationship that doesn't serve my purpose. Who is, somebody is beating on me or degrading me. I'm not going to stay here. And I'm going to tell you this right now, even if it's my friends, when they start talking down to me or reminding me of my past or what I used to do, I get off the phone. Quickly, I turn that off. Like, okay, it's nice talking to you. Bye. Because you don't have to stay there. That's right. Your past. It's not going to be your last. It's your past.
Come on, Vicki L. Evans.
I live by this because I know how it is to be there or feel hopeless. I've told you my story. I felt hopeless that I didn't even want to be on this earth anymore. I will never allow that thinking to take me to that point ever again.
Praise God.
Ever again. So
praise God.
This
has been a great conversation. I think each time we have these conversations, we enjoy ourselves like we just sitting in the living room by ourselves.
Right.
I do have my little queen glass. Y'all bring some kind of. I got all kind of cups though. I got a queen glass. I got all kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, I got ice, and then I got one without ice. I got all kind of stuff going on here. Listen, y'all, bring one of your favorite beverages, and mine is right now water and unsweet tea because I'm forever needing to hydrate as much as I run this mouth. Anyway, listen, get your copy of Vicki L. Evans' book, Know Your Worth, and it is available on Amazon as one of the best-selling books there, but it's also available at VickiLEvans.com. She'll sign an autograph copy there.
Absolutely.
And do it tonight.
And mail it to you.
And she'll mail it to you. Yes, she'll mail it to you. And if you are not a part of the Mother Dreamer movement yet, I encourage you to go over and join motherdreamer.com/join. There are a whole group of mothers with dreams and goals that are there to welcome you. And we're looking forward to having you be a part of the Mother Dreamer movement. And next week, I'm assuming we're going to be back again talking, right? Hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. We might have to do another day because I know I have a meeting on Monday. So, but we'll
figure out. We're going to come back. I definitely want to keep it consistent.
Yes,
because every month we usually do a different book. But the thickness of this book, I knew we were going to go probably 2 months. So we're going to get through the book, Know Your Worth, and I think we're going to pick up where we're talking about stress relievers. Stress relievers.
Is that it, or whose label are you wearing? Which one?
Okay, you have stuff like I only eat filet mignon. Simply, you got.
Let's go there.
Okay, I'm like, you got some stuff in here. I was gonna do the coffee thing, but I think we'll go on to I only eat filet.
I only eat filet mignon. There is a message there. Let's go there next.
That's where we'll start. So in case you have the book, go ahead and deep dive into that, and then you'll be able to ask your questions when we reconvene. Okay. I only eat filet mignon.
The best.
Back in my project days, and I'm not joking, I call it filet mignon. Okay. filet mignon. Now, once you come into the knowledge of the truth, you walk therein. So it's filet mignon. Okay.
That's just like me, Kim. I used to say salmon. I didn't know the L was silent.
Mhm. That's funny. All right, y'all. We've had a great time with you all today. I keep putting these glasses on and taking them off, but I think it's just straight sleep. I need to go get some rest
Yeah,
instead
go
of
get
trying to
some
think of my
rest.
book.
Thank you guys for who joined us, and thank you for even those who will look at the replay, because I saw a lot of that from the last video, and a lot of people watched it later on. So thank you for that. And I hope that this discussion is encouraging others as well. I already told you that one of my cousins kind of chimed in and said it was helping him. And so I just want to be a help to you. I hope that this book, if you don't purchase it, which I hope that you will, because I want you to share it with your family or your friends or even for yourself. But if you don't, at least I hope that this discussion is making an impact on your lives.
It is. It is. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Thank you all in the audience here for all of your comments, taking the time to chime in, because it does make a difference in the conversation. So thank you. And God bless you. Tune in also to the Kim Jacobs Show every weekday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, guess what? I have a lady that's coming on. I don't even have the flyer ready to show y'all, but her name is Pastor Clarissa Blissett, and she's actually talking about how to write and publish your book using artificial intelligence.
Ooh.
So that's going to be an interesting topic on tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. right on the Kim Jacobs Show. So make
You're
sure.
welcome, Cynthia. Oh, I'm
What'd
sorry.
she say?
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. She has a show coming out too soon here. So I'm super excited about her as well.
Good
I'm
luck,
trying to find that.
congratulations on your show, I should say.
I'm trying to find this flyer if I can, so you can see who's going to be my guest. Her name is Pastor Clarissa. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to download it. Say one more comment while I'm downloading it.
The battle is always in our mind. Yes, it is. Washington, D.C. in the house. All right. Start out speaking positive, not giving me a hookup. You know, always know your worth. Exactly.
This is who the guest is going to be. Writing and publishing a book using artificial intelligence. Wow. Pastor Clarissa Blissett, she's going to be on. She's a self-publishing book coach and holistic digital marketer. And that's happening on tomorrow, May 17th at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, any of these platforms. You'll be able to see CTR Media Network. You'll be able to see the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. All right, Vicki, we can close out. You ready?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Bye.